Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks so much for joining. My name is Misty, and today I am bringing you another episode of our Decades Legacy Challenge. And as you can see, we are jumping right in with the family. Today we are joining our McQueens. It is 1941, and our boys are really distraught with all of the loss that this war has brought upon our families, and they are not quite of the age that it is that they would need to be drafted into the war, but they are really upset with the fact that they have lost so many family members, and they have decided that, it's really upset them. Anger management. Sometimes I just get so angry I don't know what to do with myself. How can I deal with things when I can't even? Well, Merida has advised Johnny to just, do a workout. That being said, our boys have come up with a plan. We know that these two are twins, Johnny and Alan, and they have decided amongst themselves that they are going to run away and get themselves drafted into the war. They have decided they don't want to wait until they age up into the ripe age that they need to be to go to war. They're just going to run away, tell the people that would be drafting them when they were a little bit older that they are of age and they want to sign up and fight in this war that has taken so much from them because they're angry and they don't know how to get past this anger that they're feeling. So these boys are pretty much trying to tell their parents that they are angry, they don't understand the loss that they're having to go through, and their parents aren't really understanding. They're just trying to comfort them. They're trying to let them know that, this too shall pass, and that as a family they're going to all get through it. But the boys aren't hearing it. They can't seem to wrap their head around this. And as teenagers, they sometimes can't see past their own noses when they're in the middle of a crisis or something that has got them upset. Sometimes they act a little bit irrationally. And as you can see, Johnny is going to go ahead and head off. Alan here is sticking behind a little bit. He's trying to have it out with his father, and he's just like, you're not understanding, you're not listening, we're upset, we want to do something. And they're like, okay, we don't understand. But meanwhile, on the other side of town, we do have another couple here, Shannon Nunn, talking to his lovely wife, Matilda. And Matilda is saying, look, I spoke with Merida. Merida has called. She's let me know that the boys have run off. And he's like, well, where did they head off to? And she's like, I think they went and signed themselves up for war. And he's like, you have got to be kidding me. Why would they do that? And she's like, well, honestly, we've had a lot of loss in the family, and I think they're ready to put themselves into action. And he's like, but don't they realize that something could happen to them and they could die? And she's like, I think that, they're young boys, they're not really thinking clearly, but you're going to have to do something. And he's like, well, it's my turn for the draft. I mean, obviously I'm going to be there, but, I just want you to know that I love you so much. I'm so glad that we're soulmates and we're going to be together forever. But if for some reason something should happen to me, I want you to know that you're my soulmate. And she's like, well, you're my soulmate, and I love you so much, but I know that you have to go. She's like, but while you're out there, will you look over my nephews? Will you just try to take care of them the best you can? And he's like, well, of course I will, dear. I'm new to the family. They don't really know me all that well, but I'll do whatever I can to take care of your nephews while I'm out there. Obviously, I'll keep an eye out. I can't believe that the boys have run off and they've drafted themselves into the war. And she's like, I can't either. And he's like, this war has taken so much from you guys, so much from this family, and I can't imagine the loss that they're feeling and anger that they're feeling, but I'll do whatever I can to try to keep them safe. Obviously, it's a war. I don't know how successful I'll be. So he is going, obviously, to be drafted. It is his turn to be drafted, but he is just going to tell her how much he loves her and that he will try to do his best to keep those boys safe while they're out there on the battlefield. And he's going to just give her a little bit of a hug here, and they are going to see each other off here. She's going to tell him that she loves him and they will tell each other their goodbyes, and he is going to head off to the base camp so that he can keep an eye on those unruly boys that have snuck themselves into base camp so that they can fight in a battle that is well beyond their years and their understanding even. All because they think they know everything in the matters of the world, because as teenagers, they think they know everything. So let's go ahead and head over to our next family and see how they're doing with their goodbyes as they draft out for war. So on over to our next family here. This is Kai Abdul. And this is a family that was made by Omar, and he has asked us to place this family in the world, and they are just getting ready for Kai to go ahead and ship out to war as well. He is just telling his wife that he loves her and that he has to ship out, and she's like, I know what your duty is, love. I understand that you have to ship out. He's like crying on her shoulder, telling her how much he's going to miss them. They do have a son, a daughter, and they just had themselves a little baby girl. And so he is obviously a little worried in leaving behind his family. He is not wanting to have to go, but he does have to draft out. So he is going to go ahead and just tell her, look, whatever happens to me, just know that you're in my heart forever and that I love you guys so much, more than you're ever going to know. She understands the duty that he has to do to his country, and she is obviously upset with the fact that he has to go, but understands that this is a war, and at times of war, things do have to happen, such as your husband leaving to go fight battles. He's just going to come in and tell his daughter goodbye. His son is already headed off to bed, but he does want to just tell his little girl how much he loves her, give her a bit of a hug, and let her know that he does have to go away and fight in this battle that's happening. But once he gets back, he will obviously be here, and to let her know that hopefully he does return. In the off chance that he doesn't return, just to let her know that he loves her very much and that he's always going to be in her heart. And they are obviously just having a little bit of a bonding moment right now as he tells her his goodbyes, and then he's going to go ahead and head off to base camp. This is a really sad but precious moment these two are having together. We're going to go ahead and head over now into the O'Hara family and see how the O'Haras are handling the war that's come upon us for 1941, because we do have someone in the O'Hara family that is going away to war as well. And as you can see, Booker here is just talking with his mother, because Booker has been drafted as well for the war. And Booker is just letting her know, look, it's my turn to go and fight. And she's like, I wish you didn't have to go. And he's like, I understand that you feel that way, but Dad would have wanted this for the family. I'm the oldest, I understand. And she's like, you're not the oldest. You have a twin. Why is it that you guys are being separated? And he's like, don't ask these questions, Mom. I know that you think that we should do everything together, but just be grateful that one of us is staying behind to help around the house. You need someone to take care of you. So I'm going to go, and, it'll be fine. I'm going to go and do what I need to do to fight in this battle, and I'm going to try my best to make it home to you guys. And, I'm hoping that I have a better outcome than Dad did. And she's like, well, I'm also hoping that you have a better outcome than your father did, because honestly, I don't know how much more loss that I can take. This family is falling apart at the seams. This war has taken so much from us. How much more is it going to take? And he's like, I understand that, Mom, and I just want you to know that I love you. I love everything that you've done for this family, and you are going to make it. We're all going to make it through this war. And she's like, this war is completely dragging on. And he's like, it really is. But, just know that I'm prepared for whatever happens. I'm prepared for whatever's going to come. And, Booker is really got his head on his shoulders with this. And I think that he's really looking at this from a good place. And he's trying to reassure his mother that he's ready for whatever happens and that he's prepared to come home. But, she unfortunately heard those same things out of Liam's mouth, and he didn't make it home. And so she's finding it really, really difficult to believe these things now. She was really optimistic when Liam left that Liam was going to come home, and Liam didn't make it home. And so she's worried now because this is her son that's leaving. And so she is really, really worried. She's really scared that he's not going to make it home to her, and she's going to lose another person that she dearly cares for. And she's scared. We're going to go ahead and come on over here, and we're going to have Booker and Joseph just go ahead and become best friends here. He's going to just tell his brother, look, while I'm gone, I need you looking after Mom. You're the next man of the house. You know, we're twins. I'm going off. You're not. You've got to take care of Mom. As soon as I get back, we'll be doing it together again. But until then, you're on your own. You've got to man up. And he's like, don't worry about us, bro. I'm going to take care of Mom. I'm going to take care of the girls. It's going to be perfectly fine. I hate that you have to go. I can't believe we're being separated. But just know that while you're away, I'm going to do what I have to do to take care of this family. I'm going to make you and Dad both proud. And he's like, I know you will, man. I know you will. So Booker's going to go ahead and he's going to head off to base camp. And we're going to see our guys here at the campgrounds. So we are here at the base camp. All of the men have arrived here. They are just piddling around. As you can see, we have a lot of young men here in the base camp. A couple that have snuck in saying that they are too young, you know, but they've lied about their ages. They are just here wanting to do their duties, but unfortunately at this time, they wouldn't really care who signed up. They just wanted bodies on the battlefield. It's time for everyone to eat. Shannon has gone ahead and made some food for everyone. So everyone is just going to go ahead and eat. Now, Shannon is new to the family. As we know, you know, Matilda did marry him kind of late on, and so the boys don't really know him all that well. And so we do have a lot of people here that are in this base camp that kind of don't really know each other all that well. And so I think that it is going to be a little bit awkward with everyone on this camp trying to just get to know one another, and there's going to be new introductions, and everyone is just going to be really nervous waiting on this call to go to battle. They're going to be trying to get to know one another. They're in new living quarters with people they don't really know all that well. Booker's without his twin and his big family. Yes, he has his cousins. And technically Shannon is his uncle, but he doesn't really know him. And then they have this new strange person that no one's met before that's with them, Mr. Abdul, and they're just like, we don't know you. And so it is awkward having all of these new people all under the same quote-unquote roof, and they're just really trying to get into a routine together while they wait for really the call to go to battle and to not know if they're going to make it home or not. And that already has the tensions running high and the stress running high. Everyone's nerves are really, really anxious, and they're not really sure what they're supposed to be doing. You know, we have Alan and Johnny who are nervous about the war, but they're also angry about the war. They're angry about all of the loss that they've had, and they are ready to go just because they want to let that frustration out on the battlefield. They're like wanting to get into battle just because they think, oh, well, you know, we've lost so many people in our family that we want to take out that aggression on the people that have hurt us. But they're teenagers. They're not thinking this through as grown men. Kai is just going to go ahead and get a little bit of a workout in, and we are going to let everyone just go ahead and get themselves settled here the best they can. We're going to have ourselves a little bit of a fire and some music playing, and everyone is just trying to calm their nerves a little bit. As you can see, food has been made, they've eaten, they are just trying to relax a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get him out here, get Kai to work on repairing this sink here. The boys have been working on their homework, which I think is absolutely hilarious. In the midst of, you know, doing this whole waiting for war bit, they've been working on homework and writing in their journals and things like that, trying to express their emotions on how they're feeling, which I guess writing in their journal is technically an okay thing. They are getting emotional control from that, which I do think is probably a good thing. But watching them do their homework while they are about to go fight in the battle of their lives is a little bit comical. It's like, obviously you are not old enough to be here fighting for war, but you've made this grown-up decision that you want to go fight in a battle for your life. So that's great. And you can see as Shannon just overlooks watching for the boys, and he is definitely keeping his promise to Matilda as he looks on, just making sure that the boys are okay. Which, I mean, technically right now they are. They are eating well. He's keeping them fed. They're playing guitar. They're sitting by the fire. Right now they're doing perfectly okay. It's when they get out there on that battlefield that we are going to see if he's going to be able to keep them safe. And to be completely honest, I think that's a promise he probably never should have made, because how can he keep them safe on a battlefield? He is one man, and unfortunately, I don't know that he can keep that promise, but he did make a promise to Matilda that he would do his best to keep them safe. As the boys are practicing guitar and playing, Kai and Shannon are just spending a little bit of adult time together, and they are discussing what they're going to do with these younger boys as we are going to be heading off to war, how they're going to try to keep them safe the best that they can. They realize that these younger boys have no idea what they're getting themselves into. They obviously are a little bit more knowledgeable in the way of the world and how war works. They obviously are tense themselves, but they know that it will be up to them to try to keep these boys safe as best they can, and they're feeling really responsible for the lives of these young men. They are talking amongst themselves about what they could do to possibly keep them in the background and not up in the forefront if they could do so. And then they are going to go ahead and head off to bed. Everyone needs to get a little bit of rest. They're all feeling really tense, really stressed, really nervous. And so I'm going to have everybody just take a little bit of a nap here and just get a little bit of rest. Try to de-stress a little bit from their tensions of the day and just get a little bit of a shut-eye here. So everyone's going to have a little bit of a nap. Now that Alan has woken from his nap, you can see he is feeling a little bit tense. He is wanting to go ahead and do something with his time. He has gone ahead and started a bit of a fire, but I'm going to have him come over and just set up a little bit of a card game. We're going to have the guys come out and play a little bit of cards to pass the time. So we have just them trying to pass the time, and we're getting some messages here about their school and aptitude tests for them to be able to graduate, and it's just really not the time at all for them to be having to worry about that, considering their lives may be in danger with the war, and they're like not even concerned about the fact that they need to be doing that. They are going to be shipping out to war in 14 hours time. So taking school tests is the least amount of things that are worrying them currently, but they are just going to go ahead and do a little bit of card playing, talking, and as you can see, he's going to go over there and try to get a little bit of a workout in. He is feeling seriously anxious, seriously tense, still a lot, of anger in this young man as he is ready to get out there on that battlefield. And unfortunately, Alan is just thinking to himself, I'm just ready to go blow some things up. I don't care that you guys think that I'm just a child. I know that, I've lost people in this war, and, Kai is thinking to himself, these young boys have no idea what they've gotten themselves into. And he does really feel bad. Shannon is trying to explain to him, look, kid, you have no idea what this war is about. And I know that you feel lost. I know that you feel hurt by the loss that you've had in your family. But throwing yourself with all of this anger into this war is not the way to go. This is not the answer. And Alan, of course, doesn't want to hear that. He just has so much anger, so much tension right now over all of this, and all he really wants to do is get out there on that battlefield. He really thinks he can make a bit of a difference, and that's all he can see right now. He's just seeing red. And Shannon is really, really concerned with the fact that he can't get through to these boys and get past their anger and let them see logic and reason. But Kai is like thinking to himself as he puts in a bit of a workout here, you know, unfortunately with these hot-headed boys, sometimes you just can't get through to them. They have to, unfortunately, live life and learn the hard way. And he understands that this is most likely going to be one of those times where they are just going to have to learn the hard way. They're going to have to get out there on that battlefield and see for themselves and learn this lesson the hard way. And he really does hope that everybody gets to come home and they get to come home safely and they're not injured and or killed in this battle. But unfortunately, as we know in the past, we don't get to bring everyone home. Somebody is going to be a casualty of this war, and we just hope that, you know, we're not burying all of these young kids. So we're going to go ahead and go on in here. They are obviously in here just cooking. We are having some hungry boys, so they're waiting on Shannon to finish the meal for the night, so that they can go ahead and grab themselves all something to eat, because they are feeling a little bit hungry. So once he has finished that up, they're all going to grab themselves a bite to eat. We'll get them eating something here, and then we can hopefully get them settled in for the evening. So they're just going to grab themselves a bit of grilled cheese here. He has made everyone a meal. Thankfully, Shannon is around and he's cooking for them, because unfortunately, these teen boys don't know how to take care of themselves. They have all lived with their moms, and their moms do all of the cooking for them. So if they were here without another adult that knew how to cook, they would probably be in a world of hurt, because they do not know how to take care of themselves. So thankfully, Shannon has taken up the role of caregiver, and he's taken that role very seriously, the promise that he made to Matilda, and he's keeping these boys well protected. He may not be able to keep them well protected on the battlefield, but at the very least he is doing that here on the base camp. And once everybody goes ahead and gets themselves something to eat here, we will just go ahead and get them to take care of some of their needs and then get them ready for bed for the night. They all do ship out in 10 hours time. So after they have themselves asleep here, then we will be seeing them ship out in the morning. It is the next morning, and everyone is just grabbing themselves something to eat and something to drink, taking care of their needs. We do have them all shipping out really soon. Some of them are feeling a little bit confident as they try to perk themselves up and get themselves ready for today and what lays ahead for them as they go to get ready for shipping out to war. Others are feeling really, really nervous and are really unsure what's going to come of them, and they are really starting to realize the seriousness of the situation. The boys are just sitting here by the fire having a little chat about the fact that they're about to ship out, and some of them are still asleep. We have been notified that we're having some births in the family, which is good news. We have, obviously, you know, we know that our families are expanding, but we know that also we have some dire news in the sense that we are about to be possibly, you know, while we have people coming into the family with new births, we also have people that we're about to be losing to this war. This war is constantly taking people away from us, and it is really causing devastation to the family. And we know that everyone is about to ship out. They all ship out in 17 minutes time. They are trying really hard to keep their spirits up, but these boys are just about to ship out, and they're all getting ready to go ahead and go now, and it is time for them to go ahead and head off to war. They are heading out, and this is what they have been waiting on, what they have been thinking this whole time they were ready for is here. So just like that, the boys are off to war, and we're going to find out what happens. We have our first soldier back from war, and Alan has returned from war, and he is happy to be alive, and he has been changed. And we have our second soldier back from war, and it is Shannon, and it says, "We regret to inform you, but Shannon has fallen in the line of duty." So guys, Shannon is our first casualty of war. We have lost Shannon. Shannon has died in the war in the year of 1941. So we have lost Shannon Nunn. He did as he promised Matilda, and he did protect, but he's lost his life in the process. And Booker has returned from the war, and he has survived, but he is a changed man as well.
Yes, be nice.
Oh no, and it looks like Johnny has returned, but Johnny has died in the war as well, guys. So we were unable to save Johnny. So Alan did make it, but Johnny did not. And everyone is really upset by the loss of these two men. Everyone is really, really saddened by this news. And we have lost these two men in the war. And Kai is even distraught over the loss of these, even though he didn't know them all that well. Losing your brothers in war is a tragic, tragic thing. We are going to go ahead and get ready to engrave the epitaphs here. So we will go ahead and engrave first Shannon's here. So we will engrave Shannon's, and it will say Shannon Nunn, loving husband, you will be missed, died in World War II in 1941. And then we will engrave the epitaph for Johnny. And it will say, Johnny McQueen, loving son, or dearest son, you will be missed, died in World War II in 1941. And I'm just going to go ahead and get them to put the tombstones in their inventory so that we can take them back home with us so that we can get them to where they belong. And unfortunately, all of the stress and upset, it just really had a toll on Kai. And Kai has had himself a heart attack here in the bunker, and the war has unfortunately taken him as well. The stress of losing everyone on top of all of the fighting in the war was too much for Kai, and his heart has given out, and we have also lost Kai in this war. And so guys, we have lost Kai Abdul to World War II as well. He had a cardiac explosion here in the bunker of the war. So we are going to also be having to go and take him and his tombstone back to his family and so we will also be returning him to his loved ones. We will engrave his epitaph as well. He also gave his life to the service of his country, and he will be missed as well. So we will say, Kai Abdul, loving husband and father, our dearest husband and father, you will be missed. Died in World War II in 1941. We are going to go ahead and put this in our inventory so that we can take this tombstone to his family as well. And we will wrap it up here so that we can go ahead and get our family members back home where they belong. So we are going to go ahead and have Alan just let Miss Matilda know that unfortunately Shannon was unable to come home from the war, that he has died, and he is going to obviously let her know that he is very sorry for her loss and that he has brought home his tombstone, and he's going to give her that and let her know that he is extremely sorry that, unfortunately he wasn't able to make it back, that he was very, very brave out there. He did everything he could to keep the boys safe, and unfortunately it did cost him his life. She is going to let him know, thank you so much for returning him to me, for bringing me the tombstone. I was expecting something like this to happen because he did make a promise that he would try to keep you guys safe. And, I really appreciate you coming by. I understand that this was something that could possibly happen. It, is what it is. And I really appreciate you bringing it by. And, he is just going to console her over the death of her husband, her love of her life, and her soulmate. And she obviously is pretty sad by this news, but she is understanding that he did keep his promise to her, and she is grateful that he at least did that. So we are going to go ahead and let Alan go ahead and leave now, and we're going to go check in over here with Booker at the Abdul residence, where he's letting her know that unfortunately her husband, while very brave, was unable to make it home, that he did unfortunately succumb to the war as well, that yes, while he was very, very brave, that it was just all too much. Booker is going to let her know that things were crazy out there with the bombs and the chaos, and that there was just a lot going on, and with everything that was going on, he was able to bring her the tombstone, and so she does have a little bit of Kai here with her, but that unfortunately there just wasn't anything else to be done, that he did collapse on the battlefield, or well, at least, that's what. And she is going to let him know that she really appreciates him bringing the tombstone to the house, and that she understands that there could have possibly been a casualty, and that she is forever grateful that he brought the tombstone, and that she can mourn with her family the loss of her dear husband. And Booker is just letting her know that, he's very terribly sorry for her loss, but that her husband was extremely brave in their battle. So we're going to go ahead and head Booker on over to the house, and he is going to let his family know that he has arrived here at home safe and sound. Yes, there were some casualties. War is absolutely crazy. He really hopes Joseph doesn't have to go. He doesn't wish that on anyone, and that war really does make you a changed person. But he knows that it is probably going to be something that Joseph is going to have to encounter. But guys, I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.